Hello, hello, and Merry Christmas Eve. Welcome to Sunday Stamping with Susan and Julie. I'm Julie Davison, and this is my mother, Susan LaCroix. We are so excited that you are joining us, whether you're watching live or watching the replay. I know it's probably a busy day for all of you, but we have a very special episode of Sunday Stamping because we're going to do a stamp along. Yay! I always love these episodes because instead of just demonstrating and watching each other, we actually are stamping together. And so we hope that you will stamp along with us. We have shared the measurements and we'll share again before we get started. So you can cut your own designer paper, cardstock, grab your own stamp sets at home, even if it's different from what we're using, and create a card. You can stamp right along with us, watch the replay, do it again, whatever your fancy. We would love to see how your cards turn out. So be sure to share them with us on our Facebook groups or over email or text or however you can reach us so that we can see your stamp projects. And we're together filming back on Zoom again for this. I'm so excited to see you. And we're not in person today right now, but we're excited to see you tomorrow on Christmas Day. Are you ready?
I'm getting there. We have, we're getting there. That's all I can say right now. We will be hitting the road early tomorrow morning and stopping off to see your sister and her family for breakfast and then make our way to Champaign. So we should be there in the afternoon. So barring bad weather, I think we're going to be okay.
Yes, maybe rain.
Yeah, I think we are going to be driving through rain, but it'll be okay. And it'll be just so nice to be with everybody again. So
yes. I feel like it's been so long. So we're looking forward to having you visit and being together. It's going to be a little crazy. I feel like coming and going next week. Mark will be in and out and
yes.
yes, but we're going to be together some portion of the family for some portion of the week.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm excited. So,
Yay.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yes. We hope that your week is filled with lots of time with family and friends. And if not, then we're glad you're here with us, spending time with your stamping family here on YouTube. And so let's kick it over the table and get started stamping. We are using some brand new product today for our stamp along, a little sneak peek of the January through April 2024 mini catalog. We cannot open up the catalog quite yet until it starts on January 4th. So we still have another week or so, but we can show you the product inside. And so I'm going to give you a quick peek. Mom's going to go into detail. What is the name of the designer paper? Is this Be Mine?
I do believe it is.
The Be Mine suite includes the Be My Valentine stamp set and punch bundle. And I love how this bundle is a little bit different. Now, some of you may think, oh, I can make bees with my ladybug punch, but I like that this punch has hearts. So the heart is the wing and the heart is the antenna. And then the bee body can be like a little talk bubble. So I think it's a versatile punch and quite different from the ladybug punch. So I'm really loving it. I usually don't get Valentine's Day stuff, but I think this one is just super cute. The designer paper, Be Mine, has some fun colors in it: sweet sorbet, petal pink, pool party, lemon lime, twist, or is it parakeet party?
It is. You're gonna make me look again, aren't you? I want to say it's lemon lime twist, but don't count. Don't. Yeah. Let me see here.
I think so too.
Lemon lime twist.
Um, Mom's going to talk a little bit more in detail about the paper, but I just wanted to show it to you. It is a 12 by 12 designer paper and so cute. It just reminds me of like little kid Valentines. And I just love that. I do think that there are some other, well, I mean, it's very Valentine-y, isn't it? We got some flowers and we got some daffodil or crushed curry plaid there and some jam and some fun things. Very Valentine-y, but super cute. Then we've got this sweet sorbet ribbon. It is a 1/4 inch bordered ribbon, and I love these embellishments with the hearts and flowers. There's also some red ones that are underneath the flap, which I think you'll see when I get them out to decorate my project later. So let's get started with the stamping. So if this is the first time you're joining us for our Sunday stamp along, welcome. We do this every couple months. And so Mom will have a project and I will have a project. So our first video here is going to be the measurements for my project. And then the second video on Mom's channel, she will have her own measurements and she'll lead us through that project. So here are the measurements for my project, and we'd love for you to stamp along with us. If you're watching in the replay, I don't know if you can pause a live, but maybe if you're watching live, you can pause it and grab some cardstock, grab some designer paper. My card's going to take just a regular card base, 5.5 by 8.5, folded at 4 1/4. Some coordinating designer paper. I'll be using the Be Mine paper, but Mom's going to use some different paper and different stamps. So we'll have her share her desktop in just a minute and she can share the stuff that she's using. So Mom, switch your camera over really quick.
Great.
Okay, and then we have another piece of designer paper that's 1.5 or 4 1/4, or you can do some coordinating cardstock. So your choice there if you don't want too much pattern. And then I'm using a 2 3/8 inch circle punch, but you could also use a different tag, a different shape, a die cut, or a square or something like that. And then, oh, I didn't actually use this, but I put it on there, a 1 by 2 inch piece of white for a greeting, adjust size as needed. I made up the measurements before I made up my card, and I didn't end up using a piece for the greeting. I actually stamped my greeting directly on the card, so you might not need that. And then ribbon and embellishments as desired to finish off your card. So let me bring in my stamps and my pieces. Oh, sorry, I just hit my camera there. I actually cut for 2 cards because whenever I'm cutting my card base in half, like it just is natural to cut for 2 cards because you start off with 2 card bases. So I'm using some Pool Party for the card base, and I've got some patterns of that Be Mine designer paper, some petal pink circles, and then some white scraps for stamping my bee. I didn't put that on there, but I'm sure you guys all have a scrap bucket of white pieces. I have kind of a plastic box that's on the shelf right behind me. It's kind of low, so I'm just always grabbing a piece out of there or tossing my leftover pieces. How do you store your white scraps, Mom?
I have a plastic bin as well that is probably overflowing right now. But yes, I do the same thing. So
Can you tell us about the products that you're using for your Stamp Along project?
yes. So I am using, let's get it in focus here. I am using the Everyday Details bundle for this one. And I love this because I love all the images, a vase of flowers, a teacup, a bird's nest, and some greetings. And look at these dies. Aren't they fun?
I love those. I got just the dies and not the stamp set because I thought the dies were just so fun.
Yeah, yeah. And there is one other circle die that I die cut out some basic white. So there is another layer of dies
Another
there,
size.
another size, yes. And then the paper that I chose to use is a piece from Poetic Expressions. Let me get this out of the way. I don't know how well you can see it, but
Is it a white base or pink?
it's a white background on here that has bubble bath and a wild wheat.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I know which one that is. Yeah. Oh, so pretty. You can see it better there. Thank you for holding it up.
Sure. It reminds me of like old-fashioned wallpaper,
Mm-hmm.
vintagey kind of cards. This card is not vintagey by any shape of the, but so that's what I am using for this card.
Awesome. Well, we'll add you back later to see how your card is progressing.
Okay.
But we're going to walk through with the Be My Valentine set today. So I'm going to do some, actually, let's glue some designer paper down and then we'll do some stamping to finish it off. So for the card, I intended it for it to be a vertical card. However, if your designer paper is the other direction, then you could certainly have it be a a horizontal card. I should have done that. I should have cut my paper in two different directions so I could show you how it could be two different two different directions, but I didn't think of that, so I do apologize. So my intention was that we would have our designer paper be over here on the left side, although I'm going to mix it up and put it on the right side. I'll do one of each. So that large 2x5 designer paper is going to go on one side or the other, closest to the fold or not. And again, if you have, if your designer paper is going the other direction, just turn your card and you can still create the same sort of design, just turned. I'm making two cards just because I know I'm a fast stamper, so I figured that will slow me down just a little. I've got the other piece of designer paper, and again, this one is 1.5 by 4.25, and this is where you could choose to use just solid cardstock that coordinated if you want. And this is going to go across the cardstock or card front all the way. So it should go from edge to edge, and I'm about an inch or so from the bottom. And if I really want to mix it up, I could also do one an inch or so from the top. So I'm just going to mix it all up with the layout. Even though this isn't a mystery stamping, you absolutely can still make this card your own and do what you'd like. So I have a finished sample that I'll show you, and then you can decide. We'll do like a voting, a 1, 2, 3. So the way the card is going to finish off is we're going to have our focal point on the circle, and the circle is kind of going to cover where the two designer papers meet up. So we're either going to be up here or down here, wherever they intersect is where your circle is going to go. So I'm going to do a stamp and punched B on the circle. And then as I was going through my measurements, I forgot that I put, to do a greeting piece. So if you want to do a greeting piece separately on the white piece, then you could add it, something like this or have it, on the side. But I ended up stamping my greeting in the open space on the card front. So you can kind of, again, make it your own. If you want to use that white piece that you prepared, I had 1 by 2 on the measurement list, but I also said just, adjust it as needed to the size of your sentiment. So if you want to have that piece on there, you can, or if you prefer to stamp on the card, you can. I think maybe I will do one where I use the greeting, and then the other one I'll just stamp on the card so you can see all the different options. So let's do some stamping with our B. This is like a 2-step stamp set. So we have the outline, we have the sort of solid part of the body, and then we have the detail to go on it. So this is going to be in yellow, and then we're going to add the detail in black. And then I just love this about this set. There are 4 different faces to go on the B. So it can be grumpy or happy or cheerful, or there can be a little winky face. And then we have a couple heart stamps. So both of them fit in the punch, and the larger one is for the wings. So then there's a 2-step that you can use with that. And then the smaller one, if you wanted it to, could layer underneath the antenna. And then there's also, I guess, a little cluster of 3. So I might add some extra hearts on the card where I use the little sentiment. The colors I'm using are black, crushed curry, and petal pink. And so I've got my scrap pieces here. So I'm just going to do my stamping part. So if you are, whatever image is your focal point, you want to stamp that now. Do your coloring, do your die cutting, do your punching. So I'm going to start with the body. And then I'm going to add the detail. And I do think this can be a little tricky to line up. So I focus on the tail and trying to line up the tail so that it is coming right up to the edge of the body. The first few times I stamped it a little bit off. And so the tail, or the stinger, I guess it's not a tail, The stinger was just sort of floating behind the bee. This one was good. I think I might stamp that one again. It's a little bit off. I might have to reach for some more scraps. While I have my black out, I'm going to stamp the face. And I chose the little winky face. And here's where you need to decide which direction you want your bee to face. So I think I might actually do them differently for my cards. Because on this one, I want the bee to face where the designer paper is. And same thing here. I want the bee to face where the designer paper is. So I'm going to have one of my bees face one direction and the other one face the other direction. And next I'm going to do the wings. And I only need one wing for this card, although you could do two wings if you have your bee straight up and down. And then of course you would want to stamp your face different too. So I sort of like that there's some flexibility with these stamps, that you can have the bee face one way or the other way or straight up. Okay, here's a little tip with the wing. When you're punching it, that wing heart is kind of at an angle. And so when I am stamping my wing, I'm going to try to match that same angle and stamp sort of leaning toward that side. So kind of check that. It helps when it comes time to punch, because then you're not wasting cardstock and trying to hack into it to get to. Oh, you know what I was supposed to do? I was supposed to stamp off on my wing. Let me see how this looks to do the same color on color. It's not too bad, actually. I just re-inked my ink pad. I don't know. I'm going to try stamping off. That was my intention, so that you could see the second color better. So let me just grab another scrap. And I'll try that again. So I'm going to stamp, and then without re-inking, stamp again. That's really, really light. But once I add the detail, I think it'll be okay. And it was hard to see. I did remarkably well lining that up, but I'm going to do the outline first and then stamp so I can see better where I'm stamping. Okay, I think you can see that better to have the lighter color. The last thing to stamp, almost the last thing, is the little antenna. And I almost forgot about this, but I do think it makes it look finished. And again, I think it is helpful to look at the punch and think about how you're going to stamp it. And so it's almost going to be like upside down. And then you can kind of reach in there and get it with the punch. Okay. Now we're going to do that punching. So I'm going to reach in and get that little antenna. And then with the bee body, I'm going to line that up. You're awfully quiet. How's your card coming along?
Just about done.
Oh, look at you.
Just adding the bling.
You're fast. I didn't think I was going that
Well, it just kind of came together. It was like, I'm sitting here going, oh, well, I can do this. Oh, well, I'll do this. So I did it. I mean, when you see it, you'll understand why it was so fast. Oh,
did you do any coloring? You must not
a
have.
little bit, just a bit.
Okay. Now I feel like I should speed myself up a little bit. I'm not used to being the slowpoke.
Take your time. We're all good.
Okay. We actually do need to kind of pay attention to the time so that the video doesn't run into yours. But I think we'll be okay. I like to use glue dots for adding the wings and the antenna. So I'm going to put them face down. onto the glue dots, and then we'll add them to the bee. So I'm just tucking those glue dotted elements to the back of the bee, and then I'm going to use Stampin' Dimensionals to add the bees to the circle. And I played around with this when I was making my card, and there is a stamp in here for like the little bee trail, but I just felt like it was kind of crowded on the circle and I couldn't get it to look just right. So I left it off and did a plain circle. But you could go either way. You could also do like the hive or, something else um, behind the circle if you wanted to add a little bit more. Okay, so this circle's going here. I'm going to use some Stampin' Dimensionals behind the circles because I just love, I just love my dimensionals. Oh my gosh, that bee is just so cute.
He is cute.
Uh-oh. Okay, I did say that I was going to use the white piece on one of them. And I'm not sure which one. Maybe that one. You know what? I changed my mind. I'm not going to use the white piece on my card. But if it works on your card design, then I highly recommend that. Okay, so I'm going to use the sentiment. It says, "You make my heart buzz." It's so cute. And that's going to go right on the card.
Oh, sweet.
Of course, we need a little bit of bling.
Yes.
And so I am going to bring in some of those adhesive backed hearts and flowers. And it has 4 different colors: the sweet sorbet, the petal pink, crushed curry with white flowers there, and then the pool party. So I'm going to add some of the red hearts, just a couple around the sentiment, and then I'm out of red hearts, so I think I will do some pink hearts on the other card and just kind of embellish that. So there are the 2 versions that I made. Let me bring in the third one, which has just slightly different positioning with the designer paper on the other side. So lots of different ways that you can use this. So we'll do a quick little vote. You leave a comment and let us know. 1, 2, 3. Which do you prefer? They're all pretty much the same, except just adjusting those layouts. So maybe you have no preference. I don't know. Do you have a preference, Mom? What do you think?
I'm leaning either to 1 or 3. I like them all.
Yeah, I think I lean towards 3, which is I always do this layout with the paper on the left. I did use a different sentiment here, which I thought was kind of big for this space, so that's why I changed it to the other one. I have another sample that I made using the Bright and Beautiful suite from the annual catalog, and this one, instead of a circular, I did a square, but you can see it's the same kind of layout. So it works with so many different papers for so many different occasions. And I can't wait to see how your card worked out, Mom.
So I just I did use my little white piece as instructed. And I just used the wild wheat and the bubble bath markers just to add a little color to the cup.
Oh my gosh.
The bubble bath ribbon behind that, and enjoy all the little moments.
I love this so much. Now I'm feeling like I should have gotten the stamp set.
Not too late.
I know, but I already got the dies. It's always so much better when you get them together because you save 10% when you buy the stamp set and the dies together. But
yeah,
you're right. It's not too late. We're just getting started. So I have plenty of time to get that
right.
that stamp set. Oh, that's so lovely.
I'm glad you like it.
Well, let's switch the cameras around and we'll show off our cards together before we head over to your channel for your video. Oh my gosh, I love how the cards turned out so different.
Mhm.
Just substituting different stamps and designer paper and everything. And Mom, I especially love your card. It's so pretty. Tell us, you were just saying you put something in the middle.
I put one of the little blooming pearls that's carrying over from the current mini right in the center of that little flower. It's one of the tiny ones.
I
So
love
I,
it.
how well you can see it, but yeah, that was my bling for this card.
A perfect little bling. And I noticed too that you put the ribbon
Yes.
over the designer or over the cardstock. I thought that was lovely. I was going to add some ribbon on my card, but I just felt like it was too busy
Mm,
with the designer paper patterns and everything else. And then the red on the red didn't make sense, but
yeah.
it looks lovely on your card. And that ribbon is that from the 3-pack from the annual catalog?
Yes.
Yeah, it's got Azure Afternoon and Lemon Lolly and the Bubble Bath ribbon. I think a really great match for some of the new designer papers that are coming out in the mini catalog. I'm excited for for all the videos that are coming. So if you're not already subscribed to our channels, make sure that you subscribe because we've got lots more to share every Sunday through our Sunday stamping videos. But now it is time to head over to Mom's channel for part 2 of our Sunday stamp along. So click right in the middle of the screen. It'll be in the middle of the two of us, whichever direction that is. I'm always turned around. So click right in the middle. Then we'll have the link in the live chat as well as the video description. So head over there and we get to do this all over again and create another project. So we'll see you over there. Bye, everybody.